Let's jump into a controversial topic. Let's talk about the Flame Toys Windblade design, the Furai Toys Windblade model kit. And this was something that, for people who don't know, you could jump back in the archive of the podcast. Flame Toys showed a reveal of their model kits that they were putting out, and one of them, which was of the famous city speaker herself, Windblade, was, looking feminine in a lot of ways. And people were taken back by it. Certain groups were not happy about it at all. Me personally, I thought I liked it, but, that's just me. And, there was a lot of outcry, and they took it down. And luckily, cooler heads prevailed. And in typical Japanese fashion, they figured out a way around it. And, well, the same group of people are still not happy, but that's just the way the world is today. So let's jump into that. Flame Toys, on their Twitter account, announced the latest posting of the design tweaks, as they call it. At last, the illustration of Windblade is complete. The wings and many details have been updated. We're making a prototype now. Please wait for next information. Keep in mind, Flame Toys is a Japanese company, so sometimes the grammar is going to be a little off. And then the tweet was followed up by the designer of this model kit, the original designer and the designer of the new one, Samv, who is a female Japanese painter and fan artist turned official designer. She posted out the information on the Windblade of the Wind Thunder model brand, as it's kept for waiting for very long time. Due to the intention of copyright owners, the parts and color schemes have been recorrected to better reflect the original character design. I kindly, sincerely thank you. So her too, she also posted it with the update and explaining what's going on here. And I'll tell you right now, I'm going to post, obviously, side-by-sides of the original with this one. Outside of really updating the wings to make them more reflect the original character model, as opposed to, I guess, a very stylized and smaller wing interpretation, the rest of the body is more or less the same. Mine is slight little, the abs are slightly different. It really falls down to the painting, and with the exception of, most of the painting is they kind of went for a different kind of panty design, I guess we'll call it, if you want to look at the painting. And the stockings were more high up to the hips. Now they're down to the knees. Again, something that's more stronger reflective of the actual Windblade design. But the mold itself of the body is more or less the same. And when you really think about it, the big outcry didn't come from the coloring. It came from the gray proto, the gray vinyl proto, and the vinyl resin proto, if anything. So if you take this new design and you show people the gray proto of it, it's going to be the same result. It's going to have the same proportions of the body and everything. So at the end of the day, they kind of just released the same product with new wings. And how you paint it up is going to be a whole other different story. Now, granted, the Furai model kits are molded in colored plastic, but at the end of the day, the same product that was shown originally could pretty much be emulated again right out of the box. So it isn't going to make much of a difference. So at the end of the day, cooler heads prevailed. Japan did what Japan always does, and they listened to their artistic integrity and what they like. And they realized at the end of the day, and here's a spoiler, when Masterpiece Transformers are made in Japan, it's made for the Japanese audience, and the American audience is really secondary. And it's the same thing here with Furai. They're a Japanese company that makes Japanese model kits for a Japanese model kit heavy audience in Japan. We really are a secondary thought in that market. Do they import? Yes, they do. But they probably know, and it's the same thing with Gundam kits, they know that we really are secondary to that audience. Gundam themselves, they've started to do more and more model kits that are based off of their female characters in also a very tantalizing kind of manner to accompany their mecha-based kits on top of that. I forget what they're called. I think they're called something action. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys. It's on the tip of my tongue. And look, if they keep making it, and they've been doing that for about, I want to say 4 years now, it's clearly selling. You know, there's a market for Japan when it comes to this kind of stuff. You don't have to look any further than their Figma line or their Figure Arts line or their, there was one that was also named after the Furai line stuff that they used to do. There's a huge market for that kind of stuff, for the sexy anime girl figurine kind of stuff. And let's not even get into the hentai and ecchi stuff, you know, that's released over there. There's a huge billion-dollar market over there. So when you have a product that's coming from that side of the globe, you shouldn't be surprised of how it's going to turn out. If you don't like it, don't buy it. Don't put your hard-earned money towards a product that you don't enjoy. In the same way that if you don't like a regular Transformer toy, a regular tasteful Transformer toy, and you don't like it, you don't buy it, and that's it. And we live in a world today where money talks. But the sad truth is that if there's something you don't like and it still comes out all the time, just because you don't like it doesn't mean millions of other people don't. You know what I mean? Just because you don't like something doesn't mean you should, you know, mash everything off of the table and go, no, you shouldn't like this because I don't like it. That's how the world works. That's just how it works. Look, I accept that there's certain Transformer characters that people love that I'm kind of about. Now, I don't hate Transformer characters. Like I've said, I've had this discussion many times where it's like, you know, I think maybe Night Scream is about as close as it gets from Beast Machines. But at the same time, just because, you know, I like Hot Rod and some person likes Blur, I'm not going to be like, no, you're not allowed to like Blur. You're supposed to like Hot Rod because I like Hot Rod. Look, you just got to let people have their fun and enjoy their stuff. And if you think that, oh, this is disgusting or it's a bad representation of the character, let me tell you something, okay? There's tons of stuff out there that are bad representations of everything, and they exist every day, and they go under your radar, and you not knowing about it lets you continue living your life. And other people go on enjoying that stuff that's a bad representation. There's a bad look, the Transformer movies by Michael Bay, in my opinion, are a bad representation of Transformers. But you know what? There's people that like it, millions and billions of them, and it made money for them, and they keep making money for them, and that's just how it is. Do I not like it? Yeah. Do other people like it? Yeah. Am I going to tell them, no, you shouldn't like it? Come on. You know? And it's the same thing here. I know I'm comparing a Michael Bay movie to this, but you know what? They're offensive in different ways to different people. In a lot of ways, they're almost offensive in the same way. But the point is that I like what I see here, personally. Maybe because I'm a hot-blooded male. You know, maybe because I'm just a guy who enjoys the female form. But in the same way, I appreciate a really sexy-looking Rodimus figure. So I don't know. Maybe I just like cool-looking stuff that both represent the manliness of a man and the feminineness of a woman. Who knows? Maybe I'm going to get in heat for all of this. But at the end of the day, I'm going to speak the truth and I'm going to shoot from the hip. You know? And at the end of the day, I congratulate Flame Toys for keeping their integrity, for not changing the kit too much and doing what they feel is right. But I expect that of Japan. Japan has a lot of pride. They believe in not having to kowtow to people who don't have any interest in their product to begin with. I mean, I've sat down. There's beautiful photos of me at BotCon of me sitting down with a lot of different Japanese people from the Japanese creative side of Transformers. I don't want to name names, but you could probably figure it out. And they've always felt that the opinions of the people that are negative are usually come from people who weren't going to buy it anyways, aren't creative people anyhow, and it's just the armchair quarterbacking that has always existed in any hobby. Not just Transformers, but any hobby, which is at the end of the day, they give their opinion, but they weren't going to be your paying audience anyhow. I always say, listen to the customer. Don't listen to the person on the street that's never going to walk into your store anyways. And if you think somehow changing stuff is they're going to make them walk into your store, too many people, too many businesses, and too many companies have gone bankrupt chasing someone that was never interested in you to begin with. That's just my 2 cents, but let me know what you think about this kit. Again, I think it's great, and I once again congratulate, Bansav and Furai for keeping their integrity and doing what they like regardless of it. You know, people have to understand that there just really is, you know, different things in the world that are different than the bubble that you live in, and that's that. And it might seem like me giving off a rant, but at the end of the day, I'm proud at what they did. I'm proud that they kept their integrity, and I'm happy that Flame Toys is going to continue giving all their very wild artistic interpretations of characters. It doesn't end with just, you know, Windblade. Did anyone see their Primal, their Lyo Convoy? Even their IDW Rodimus is quite a tweak from the final, you know, character model, with his ab crunch and his biceps and his luscious legs. And that's coming from me, you know, who loves my Roddy, you know. So, man, that's going to be interpreted very wrong. But regardless of the fact, let me know what you think about this, guys. I'm happy with it. I have a few Flame Toys kits already. I'm turning my head to the left right now, looking at my Starscream, Convoy, Bumblebee. I'd love to get another Starscream and do like a Windblade recolor, Lady in Purple. Either way, let me know what you think about this. It's cool stuff.